Okay, this is Demetrius Wilson with Principles of Management, Chapter 9. This is part 2 of the lecture. Try and make sure that it's only 2 parts and not 3. We talked about directive as our appropriate leadership style. Now let's talk about the next 3. When tasks are boring and repetitive, and when tasks are stressful, you want to be a supportive leader or supportive manager. When employees have high abilities, when the decision is relevant to employees, and when employees have high internal locus of control, meaning that they feel as if they control their destiny, then you want to be participative, right? You want to be involved in what they're doing. And when employees have high abilities and when employees have high achievement motivation, you want to use an achievement-oriented style of leadership, right? So you see there are different types of styles of leadership that apply to different situations, right? As we go back to, situational leadership. So this is Roman Yedin's normative decision model. The decision tree approach is a guide leaders can use to decide how participative they should be given decision environment characteristics. Now, I'll let you look at this, check it out and everything, but as a leader, as a manager, once you get the swing of things, you shouldn't have to go back and consult this decision tree on every single decision that you make. Should I wear a blue shirt? Should I wear a green shirt? Let me go look at the decision tree. It's not that serious, right? But I want you to go over that on your own. So it's slide number 24, and check out the decision tree and see if it can help you in the current or near and distant future. More discussion questions such as, do you believe that the least preferred coworker technique is a valid method of measuring someone's leadership style? Why or why not? So different people have different opinions about leaders and or managers. If you're new to leadership or management, you'll realize and know that everybody will not like you. Everybody will not like your style. You just kind of have to be at peace with it. If you're an individual that wants to please everybody, it's quite possible that you won't be in management too long because everybody wants something different. Now the glass ceiling. This is interesting. If you guys, before I kind of read about what the textbook says, but I'll tell you about what a glass ceiling is. So you run into a glass ceiling, you can see what's above you, but you can't break through that glass ceiling. So it's a glass ceiling, but it's made of kryptonite because you can't break through it. You can see that there are individuals up there, but what are you lacking? What don't you have that you can't get through that ceiling? Maybe it's the amount of education, maybe it's your gender, maybe it's your ethnicity. It's something that's halting you right there. So the glass ceiling refers to the concept of an invisible barrier that keeps women and minorities from occupying positions at the top levels of many corporations. While women now comprise more than half of the workforce in 2012, only 4% of Fortune 500 organizations were headed by female CEOs. Here are a few examples of individuals that have broken through to the other side. And I'm very familiar with all these individuals. Great examples, especially if you're a young lady in the class. Great examples for you. A graduate of Princeton University and Harvard Business School, Meg Whitman, now studies changing the landscape of technology as president and CEO of Hewlett Packard. Ranked in Fortune magazine's 50 most powerful women in business for 7 consecutive years, Virginia Romelty is also distinguished as the first female CEO of IBM. Pretty good. The toast of Pepsi's empire, Indra Nooyi, who has doubled net profits since she started as chief financial officer in 2000. She currently serves as chairperson and CEO. Now, did you see that? It says doubled net profits. Now that is significant. I'm sure her bonus was very, very huge. Irene Rosenfeld is in a good position to school her stakeholders on the merits of the Kraft Foods empire. She leads as chairperson and CEO. Rosenfeld holds multiple degrees, including a PhD in marketing and statistics from Cornell University. Right, so those degrees definitely did not go to waste. The first African American female to head a Fortune 500 company. The accomplishments of Xerox CEO and chairperson Ursula Burns cannot be copied. If you want to Google her, look her up on YouTube. Great videos. I've used some of her videos in other classes. She's a great example. Avon Products Inc. has operated with the goal of serving women for more than 125 years, as this tradition is carried today by the work of current CEO Sherry McCoy, whose previous experience was a research scientist at Johnson & Johnson, right? And it's if you watch a video on Ursula Burns, she had a similar type of background. She was into research, she was in the lab, she was doing a lot of things for Xerox, and she wasn't really on that big scale business level, but there was someone who took an interest in her and someone who mentored her. And if you watch the video, you know and understand. And it's also interesting to see what type of background that she had. Came from very humble beginnings. Definitely did not have a silver spoon. Contemporary approaches to leadership. So you have transformational leadership. Employees focus on company's well-being rather than the individual pursuits, right? So we want to focus on the company's well-being, or the health of the company, rather than the individual pursuits. Transactional leadership. Employees demonstrate the right behaviors because the leaders provide resources in exchange, right? So we want to do the right thing. The leaders are providing the applicable resources that we actually need, and everything falls into place. So let's get a little bit more in depth about those two. So transformational leaders lead employees by aligning employee goals with the leader's goals, right? So your manager and or leader should have goals, and then you should have goals, and your goals should be connected to his goals, and his goals should be connected to his manager, and his manager's goals should be connected to whoever the biggest boss is. With that, you have charisma and inspirational motivation, intellectual stimulation, and individualized consideration, right? All those things play a key component in regards to aligning your goals with others. Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, the founder of the first president of the Turkish Republic, right? So he was a very transformational leader. I might want to look him up via Google or YouTube as well. You have these are different methods used by transactional leaders. You have contingent awards, contingent upon this, contingent upon that. If you hit this goal, we're going to give you this. Active management by exception, and passive management by exception. So what do those things mean? So leader member exchange. So you'll see that if you see LMX later, leader member exchange theory, that's what LMX is. So high quality LMX relationship have mutual respect between the leader and the followers, right? So the leader respects the followers and the followers respect the leader. Low quality LMX relationship portray lower levels of trust and respect between the leaders and the followers. So sometimes those followers don't respect the leader, and sometimes the leader doesn't respect the followers as well. And sometimes from either side, they don't understand that there needs to be trust from both sides. According to the leader member exchange approach, the unique trust-based relationship leaders develop with their employees is key to leadership effectiveness. If there's no trust, then what do we have, right? Leader member exchange, or LMX theory. Antecedents. We learn leader fairness, leader delegation, effort in building good relationship, employee feedback seeking, employee flattery of the leader, personality similarity, and liking. Well, I'm gonna go into a couple things on this. So you have leader fairness. Is that individual fair all the way across the board? Leader delegation, right? Are you delegating the right amount of stuff to each of the individuals? Effort in building good relationship. Are you putting effort into building good relationship with your individuals? Employee feedback seeking. Are you getting feedback to say these are things that I need to work on? Employee flattery of the leader, right? That happens. I had an individual before, and I had to tell her, I said, hey, you know what? I know you're attempting to continue to buy me lunch and everything else, but it's not going to help you. And actually, some managers, some leaders actually don't take too kindly to the individual that's kind of trying to skew the level playing field. I like to take everybody at their merits, and if you're doing a great job, you're doing a great job, whether I like you or don't like you. And if you're not doing a great job, you're not doing a great job whether I don't like you or like you. Personality similarity, that can definitely come into play when you have interviews. So if I like the Dodgers and I interview you, and you like the Dodgers, and I interview somebody else and they like the Angels, but everything else is the same between you. Everything else, you guys look exactly the same. Maybe you guys are twins. How about that? You guys are twins. You are the twin that likes the Dodgers. The other twin likes the Angels. Who am I going to pick? Well, if I like the Dodgers, then I'm going to pick you because you like the Dodgers, right? And that's how it happens. And sometimes it happens with promotions. It's just part of life. And there are things things in life that you have to deal with that aren't, necessarily what you would call fair. And then liking. So leader member exchange. So here are those are the antecedents. Now you have your consequences. You have job satisfaction, organizational commitment, job performance, citizenship behavior, lower turnover, right? And that's what you really want to have. If you get that good relationship, you'll have less turnover, because it does cost a lot of money to bring people back in the house, back in house to work for you. Buffer against stressors, high performance ratings, and favorable interpretations of behavior. So servant leadership. So this always, makes me think of a guy, this guy Andy that I hired at another company. And in the interview, he kind of detailed out, and I don't know if he remembered it from class, but he detailed out what a servant leader is, and he's that guy. So he draws like the upside down pyramid. He shows, hey, I'm here at the bottom. I'm just here to support all of my people. I would say that I'm I could probably do some work in getting some traits and qualities and skills from the servant leadership section, because I definitely don't think that I really fall into that, most of the time. Defines the leader's role as serving the needs of others. The primary mission of the leader is to develop employees and help them reach their goals. Sometimes that depends on what the employee's goals are, right? If their goals aren't really things that are attainable, or they don't really have any present goals, it's kind of hard to get them to a goal that's non-existent, or they don't even know what it is. Servant leaders put their employees first, understand their personal needs and desires, empower them, and help them develop their careers. Servant leadership has some overlap with other leadership approaches, but there are some differences: ethics, community development, and self-sacrifice. Right? It's like, hey, I'm gonna sacrifice myself and help this individual a little bit more because I'm a servant leader, as opposed to just a leader that says, hey, this is what we're gonna do. This is where we're at, and I expect for you to follow that. Authentic leadership. Now, I say I'm probably a little bit better in this category. Leaders are self-aware, not afraid to act the way they are. Right, be yourself. I get made fun of all the time, from the NutriBullets that I drink in the morning to the way I dress at work. But hey, you know what? I'm all okay with it. Possesses high level of personal integrity. Leaders are introspective. They understand where they are coming from, retain a thorough understanding of their own values and priorities. Now, this is a good one for authentic leadership. So, Howard Schultz, the founder of Starbucks Coffee Houses, witnessing his father losing his job due to medical problems, he became passionate about a company's need to care for its employees. And remember, we talked about him providing, medical care for people who are part time or full time. And I don't know if I think it's online at Arizona State, where if you go there, that Starbucks will pay for your entire tuition. I don't know, it's something like that, but you guys check it out. More discussion questions. What are characteristics of a transformational leader? Are transformational leaders more effective than transactional leaders? So a little bit that's opinion, but some of that is fact when you're asking what are the characteristics. So I want you guys to kind of go back, look at that, answer the questions, and always learn something. So now, maybe most importantly, developing your leadership skills. So steps to develop your charismatic leadership skills: have a vision, tie the vision to history, watch your body language, don't slouch down, be confident, stand up straight, make sure that employees have confidence in themselves, and challenge the status quo. Forget the status quo, let's do something different, let's be special. Developing your leadership skills: steps to develop your servant leadership skills. Ask what you can do for your employees, right? And I'm definitely going to take this slide to heart and look at it. Help employees reach their goals, be humble, be open with your employees, and find ways of helping the external community, right? These are ways to be a better or more of a servant leader. And developing your leadership skills: steps to develop your authentic leadership skills: understand your history, take stock of who you are now, reflect on your successes and challenges. That you see that they don't put failures. Make integrity a priority, and understand the power of words. Words are very important. Words do hurt, and words do actually encourage individuals as well. So be sure you know what you're saying to people and how it can affect them. And more, last but not least, our final discussion question on page or slide 41: what is the connection between leadership and ethics, and the other two? Go ahead and go through those. As always, I want you guys to have a good day, a great week. Make sure that you check announcements and see whatever fun I have in store for you, whether it be a couple quizzes and a couple homework assignments, or pop quiz. No, it won't be a pop quiz or anything like that. But have a good day, a great week, and we'll be on the home stretch, and the class will be over before you know it.